I have no idea what we're talking about today, so we're just going to get right into it.
Little blank stare when we decided that topic today.
No, actually, I think what we're going to talk about today is essentially, what we're going to be stacking in 2024.
Okay.
One thing that I've noticed that a lot of people in the YouTube stacking community, they like to do is they talk about different goals that they have. And obviously, if you're setting goals for yourself, you have something to kind of push for and hopefully, amass more silver and gold and essentially add to your bottom line of your net wealth, net worth, whatever you want to call it. So in this last year, my goal was to hit 50 ounces of gold. I hit that mark. That was like my major goal, was to hit 50 ounces of gold. Part of that goal, though, was to finish up a tube of gold buffaloes. And
a 20-ounce tube?
Yeah. But I wasn't able to do it because, number one, I just didn't have enough cash to throw.
Why buffalo? Your favorite coin? Or?
No, I used to actually have a lot of gold eagles, but as you know, there was a time when gold buffaloes had the higher premium, right? They were like above an eagle for like about $100,
sure.
Right? So I'd always just buy the gold eagle, and eventually I got a buffalo, and then it kind of moved into more buffaloes. I sold off my gold eagles, except for I have like one, I think, and I just worked on just stacking a tube of gold buffaloes. I called it the herd. So over the year,
that.
Yeah, it's not bad. So over the last couple of years or whatever, as I've been buying the buffaloes, I also buy some collectible gold coins. And so this year, while I did hit the 50 ounce
what
mark,
kind of collectible? Like what?
So I have like a Scrooge McDuck gold coin.
Oh man, yeah. That's cool.
I have
the 1 ounce.
The 1 ounce coin.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep. I got some like obscure gold. They're like the Czech Lions. They only have like 1,500 or 1,700 of them in the world, and they've had maybe 5 releases. I only liked 2 of them, and I bought those. I bought 2 of them, not the others. So this year, 2024, my plan is I'll still stack gold, but I'm not going to be as aggressive. I'm going to buy the buffaloes I need to finish out the tube. And then if there's collectible coins that drop that I'm interested in, like one-offs, I'll buy one here, one there. But I'm not going to be consciously, I can't speak today, consciously, continually throwing money into gold. I'm going to actually switch gears and probably get into more crypto again and stocks. That's my plan. Yeah.
Stay away from the stocks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right now we're like at all-time highs for the Dow. So
cryptos, I'd put money in cryptos. Bitcoin only though. I don't know if you're gonna mess around with any of the other stuff.
So I had Ethereum at one point. I just actually bought back into some Bitcoin recently. Ethereum I bought just because it was like a big name and everybody was talking about it. But when everybody starts talking about, what these different coins do, I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. They're like, oh,
at one time they were coming out like crazy. There was a different coin coming out every day. Is it still like that or no? I don't know. I really don't know much about the industry. Yeah.
Well, I have. So I recently opened a Discord, and I have maybe like 80 members from the channel in there. And I set it up so that there's like different chat rooms for different interests. Okay. Right. So if you're into crypto, there's like a crypto chat room. So like if you want to talk about that, you're supposed to just do it in there. So that way, like, there's not just like one general chat and everybody's just talking and you miss a lot of stuff. If you want to talk about, there's outdoors stuff, you could go talk about that. So there's
your own platform there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
So I have and I post deals and pre-sales in there, and
I'll show you. I've never done anything like that. Like my goals, as a wholesaler, a little bit different. I always set capital goals. By the end of the year, I want to have this amount of capital to operate, and I've been pretty consistent with it. I think I've told you my inventory is usually what I keep here. I could set a goal to keep more gold on hand, you know what I mean? But I don't really stack like that.
No,
If I did, I would just stack 1 ounce bars. We talk about that all the time.
it's so boring.
I know, but just from a numbers perspective, I like to. You have X amount of ounces of gold, it's worth X amount of dollars. That's it. You know what I mean? It's so simple, and
You believe in. There's a lot of people that believe in an ounce of gold is an ounce of gold.
Yeah, that's it.
But I think what happens is there's actually two different markets. There's the dealers like you and wholesalers and everything that buy and sell metal just for the metal content, going off the spot prices and working off of those margins.
It's no different than investing. You know what I mean? It's like
correct. But the other market that I'm talking about is like the more higher premium stuff. Like you just took in a collection. You were showing me when I walked in here. You're like, hey, check this out. And you were busting out all these Perth Mint things, which he's going to be putting on his website soon.
Yep.
So, but that market, the thing, and we've been talking about this so much, is you've got that 1 ounce of silver or the 1 ounce of gold or whatever, but because of the limited mintage causes the prices to go up because of the scarcity. So
yeah, you know what? It's tough to price out. So you seen what I just put out there,
yeah.
right? What would you pay for it?
Some of the things I wouldn't have bought.
Yeah,
I'm not
and listen, that's an option. That's not an option too. These people come in. This guy brings me 50 ounces of silver. I can't say, hey, I'm going to pass on these 5.
No.
You know what I mean?
You'll give them one price.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you also
sure.
work close to spot. So for you,
but that stuff obviously is over spot. There's some of the nice. There's John Wayne coins in there and all different.
But how well?
That's a question. How
Well, I was going to say
that's
how
why
high
that
over spot.
That's why that business, that side of that business is like
nebulous to you.
Yeah, it's like not La La Land. It's whatever somebody is willing to pay for it.
But that's
exactly what I mean.
That's exactly right.
That might sit on my website for 3 months. 4 months, maybe even longer.
Yeah.
And I hate tying up money with that on waiting to get that little bit extra. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, I feel like you and I are gonna.
If I tell you what I'm going to sell it for, you're probably going to buy them all from me.
Some of them I might end up buying.
I only want a couple dollars over spot. They're like worthless to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
like you said, to take the time to list each one individually.
No, that's too much. I think probably
it's not worth it.
The best bet would be probably to sell them to me, and then I sell them on the live stream or post them on my Discord
do something
or whatever.
like that.
Just because
definitely do something like that.
That stuff is
and,
hard to move on the
speaking
website.
of 2024 and like things going forward, I see that trend a lot too. Now eBay's going live. I just got a email from some, I don't even know, Drift? Is it Drip? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't even know the name of some of these companies, but to do lives and to do that, I see a lot of companies going forward with that.
And both reached out to me to try to have me sell on their platform. It doesn't make sense for me to do it because I've already established my sales platform. So I don't really, and I have a social media presence. So I don't necessarily need Drip or whatnot right now. Now, if YouTube was to, let's say, demonetize my channel or close my channel, or I was kicked off of Instagram or whatever, then I would look at those platforms as a way to sell. But for people that do not have social media exposure,
which is rare right now,
But there's a lot of people that. So here's the thing: there's a lot of people that are getting into stacking. There's a lot of people like very well. You and I have spoken about a couple people who come into your office that you've known for a few years who are now deciding to get into precious metals and sales, but they don't have a social media presence. And so what are they going to do? It's very hard for them to sell on Instagram because nobody knows who the hell they are. So they're not going to trust them. Like, hey, I'm selling these eagles. I'm selling it. Like, well, who the hell are you? You have 80 followers.
The beginning of any process is hard.
It is. And the only way it grows is if you were just constantly. It just doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I've been doing this now. In February, it's going to be 5 years. So it didn't just happen. And I'm still to me, it feels like I'm army crawling. Like, it's still not like a cakewalk. Like, how often
I had one of the hardest weeks I've ever had this week. You know what I mean? It's extremely stressful, a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's
always up and down.
It's tough.
But the people that don't have any like online presences, then okay, drip or whatnot makes sense. Now for me too, like they get a cut, right? Whatnot takes their percentage, drip takes their percentage. They also take a certain amount of time. It could be 3 to 5 business days, maybe in some cases, for you to get paid out, right? Because what happens is the people that are bidding on the platform, the money is collected by Whatnot. It's collected by drip.
Right.
And then there's a couple days or whatever until that money then direct deposits into your account.
Yeah, people are doing it. I'm sure there's ways to make it work.
Well, it works if you do, and I actually, you know what? I've seen seasoned people who are on Instagram or people that have big YouTube channels and they're going over to Whatnot.
It's another outlet.
It's another outlet.
It's more exposure. You know, it's. And I see trending also. A lot of these people are getting in front of the cameras for the first time.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to see they're starting to put a face with their business, and you know, I like it.
It's the growing trend. Well, that's I think it was. I feel like it was just dumb luck that I called you that day.
I'd never get in front of the camera.
And
this is all new to me.
I mean, you do well though, but like
still a little nerve-wracking some days.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sure we all can work on something, right? You could grow some hair, and I can lose a couple pounds.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. Same with me. But I think that you know, that for a lot of these businesses, you got to think like the industry. It used to be the old crusty, you know, coin shop owner, curmudgeon-y, you know, can't be bothered, right? But I feel like you're seeing a shift. They're noticing how social media can really affect their business and really help. So if you don't adapt and you don't get with the times and you don't change the way that you're operating, you're going to become obsolete and you're not going to survive.
Plus, it builds that connection with your audience.
100%.
You know what I mean? Some of these people, they see it cheaper online, and they still buy it from you just because they like you.
Yes.
There's no, you know, a couple dollars is not going to sway them away from, you know, if they like you, they like you.
Yep. And they know, and that's the other thing too. Like if you just go on like an AppMex or Provident or whatever, those businesses, perfectly fine. I do a lot of business with them. I continually buy from them. I still will buy from them. But you know, you're buying from a company. Whereas if they
it's less personal.
It's and this is more personal. I post videos for educational purposes.
They know they're dealing with Stormy.
They know they're dealing with me, and they can and they get in touch with me. Like I respond. You know, they message if they message usually on YouTube. Like I get a lot of comments, so I'll usually thumb up and heart the comments that I read. But they, you know, like if they DM me on Instagram or on Discord or send me an email, like I respond to almost all
day,
unless they're a-holes.
You know what? I'm a little tough with responding lately. I just got a lot going on, and like some people, you know, even in regards to this podcast, I get people ask me questions about the stuff back here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ask me stuff about, you know, the video that we did with the looking at the silver.
Yes.
Man, I get people, how much is that bar? I'm like,
it's gone 6 months ago.
Yeah.
A lot of these people don't have concept of time. How about the people that remember the guy? He commented, he said something like, I watched this video and spot's not at all-time highs or whatever. You're like, dude, that was like 2 weeks ago. What the hell are you talking about?
Unbelievable. They comment just to comment.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
But you're noticing now, because like, I remember you used to ask me all the time, like, what does this guy mean by this? Or, oh, this is pretty cool. This guy liked the video or whatever. Like, you were really excited. I'm like, oh, I didn't notice.
It's been so busy lately, man. Just I've been working some days 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night. Just
oh, I get it.
You know, it's tough. It's busy right now.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I think that's part of the benefit of like these podcasts and everything, because right now you're so tied up. It is like
even posting. I haven't been posting on social media. I haven't been doing anything.
But that's the point I was making is it's like it's another full-time thing. It's like
I keep saying I'm going to hire somebody.
I know. But then you got to find.
I don't even have time to do that.
But even that takes time, because then you got to make sure that they have the same vision as you, or they're going to do what you want them to do.
Yeah, it's amazing. Some of these companies I work with, they find these employees that, like, man, I always say to them, how the hell did you find these people? Because they could literally leave, go on vacation, and their employees run their business like they're there, you know, and
I'm sure
I gotta find someone to help me with my social media.
I feel like he keeps hinting at me or something.
Stormy's too busy to help me out.
I could barely. Well, I think today I'll help you with a couple of things, but I can barely keep up with my own. Like after we're done doing our recording session today, I'm going home, and then I have to record videos.
How do like other people do it? Do they hire people to do their social media? I don't know.
Well, it depends on which people you're talking about. 'Cause
People that are always in front of the camera. I'm always amazed at how much time that they could dedicate to.
some of the people do it full
to
time.
sitting on their phone. You know,
But
what
some
I
of the
mean?
people do that full time. I mean, if you show me different people or different
Different accounts.
accounts, like some of them, especially the larger ones, yeah, they might have a person to help them, or they might outsource the editing
Right.
or whatever. But in the stacking community, I can't name any individuals that have anyone helping them with the social media. Like there's like in the YouTube stacking community, even the largest channels do it themselves.
Oh yeah.
They all do it all on their own. But they're not also selling. Now there's a few others that do like what I do, like the selling and everything. I'm thinking of like two in particular. They do all of their own, like me, all of their own sales, finding all of the inventory, packing it all up, reconciling the orders, doing all of the social media stuff. It's a lot of work, but like you said, like you do your stuff from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. But you're like constantly like buy, sell. Next, get in here. I'll give you $300,000 for this. You here, buy this. I'll give you. Like you're constantly doing that. But at some point, like if you did want to get into social media more, like you probably would be able to work it in different areas. It's just like.
I don't have the time to do it.
No,
and I have.
no,
I always, it's funny because for like insurance purposes and for my own recollection, I video and picture everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have tons of content, man. Like cameras and cameras full.
Yeah, but that's like that to me is a daunting feeling. Like you've got all of this stuff, and then like okay, so what do you do with it? Just the thought of like having to look at that and edit it and like what's this video's purpose?
It's overwhelming, and I just don't do it.
I feel like what happens then. I feel like in that situation, I would just leave it all there, not even think about it, and then as soon as you're ready to start posting and everything on social media, you just start from scratch.
Just start all over.
You just start over from like, okay, like you have to have a direction and
even yesterday, I had the biggest deal I've ever done in business. I'd be embarrassed to even say the dollar amount. Right, it was the biggest deal I ever had. I was so concentrated on getting it out of here and selling it and getting rid of it. I didn't record anything with it. Nothing. Zero. There's like
your mindset's not
there's a
there,
5-second video of me looking at 11 monster boxes of silver eagles. That's it. That's about it.
Yeah, you're.
I didn't get a video of anything else. So disappointed.
It's again because your mindset's not there.
Yeah, no, I just wanted
once
to.
you want to get the deal done. You want to get the money in, the money out, or whatever. Like you just
would have been nice, man. I wanted a picture of me sitting on them silver eagles
with
instead,
a crown on your head and
I was like, man,
a pimp goblet.
So
and a gold tooth that you've always wanted.
That's one thing we were talking about before about the goals for 2024. I always said, these things are easy to keep track of. It's X amount of ounces, X amount of dollars, and I always set like personal records. So, try to do this, and this was my biggest yet. And my goal is to just keep doing more.
Okay, so how about for 2024?
I tell you, I want my first $1 million deal. If you're out there, you got $1 million in gold, contact me. Let's make this happen this year.
I want a finder's fee.
I've come close,
yeah.
But there are multiple deals together that I all sell at once. It's never from one single transaction.
No, but you want the one transaction,
$1 million.
Like the unicorn.
It's funny. I've had a couple. I talked to a lot of people in the industry, and a couple of people that I know did it this year.
They exist.
Yeah, they're out there.
Well, do you remember the video that I did where I recorded? Do you remember that video I did with the other coin shop?
Was it $1 million deal?
It was a little. It was over.
Was it inherited?
No, it was. They had there's the two coin shop owners that were on that deal. They were contacted by almost like these brokers where they said, hey, we have a client who wants to buy over like, or has like over like $1.2 million that they want to buy gold with.
Oh, well.
But we need the gold. Can you get it for us? So the two coin dealers, they're like, yeah, well, what do you want? And they're like, they want it in like St. Gaudens, like pre-33 stuff. So between the two of them, they got on the phone with their contacts and
Got $1 million.
it's like 1.2.
Wow.
And they got it all in there. And if you look at the video, like it just covers the table.
I would have advised against it, man.
And
I said, tell your client to buy 1 ounce bars.
Oh, and we had, and like they had them like stacked, and then they just smashed it all down.
I don't know if you've seen the premiums on pre-33 gold. They're down to melt. They're down to nothing.
They're down right now. So
man.
now is the time to buy that.
Now's
stuff.
a good time to buy. Now's a good time to buy it. Premiums are really low on that stuff right now.
Okay.
You know.
Maybe we use that as a topic for the next video where we're talking about like.
Yeah, but we deal with some of the same dealers. You see the payout sheets. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're coming down on both sides, the bid and the ask.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And like I think I talked to you about this last time. Everybody I talked to says it's going lower. You know.
Right. You were saying it might be below spot.
Yeah, and you see that now on a lot of products. It's slightly below melt. And I'm talking about, to be clear, because I even when I listen back on some of these podcasts, we talk like everybody knows what we're talking about, right? We're talking about buy prices. Yeah. We're talking about the buy prices. Because I had people, I'm paying $10 under spot. I had 10 people email me say, where can I buy Cougarons? $10 under spot. I said, yeah, open up a store and do it on your own.
Oh, I remember. I remember that.
Yeah,
comment.
and
it's like,
but listen, that's what the buy prices are right now. I'm not like people are like, oh, he's a liar. That's what the buy prices are.
It's
literally
works.
on a sheet.
Yeah, I know. There's some people that right there, and I've had that conversation with people too. I mean, any of you that are watching this video and are still watching at this point and have any sort of like brain would know that dealers like Andrew and myself or what have you, when we are buying stuff, we look at what the spot price is to kind of help gauge as to where we should be buying everything. But, when we're buying from wholesalers and these other dealers and everything, like you said, like the market's what the market is, right? Like if one source or a big wholesaler is saying like, oh, we're buying, or we're buying the, Krugerrands at $10 under spot or whatever, word gets around. Like that's what the going rate is, and that's what everybody is doing. That's setting the market. Because those are the trends.
It's funny. So let's say there's one company's at minus $10.
Yeah.
Another wholesaler is not going to be at plus 10.
No.
You would buy them all. You know what I mean? You could sell them. You could make a profit in between. It doesn't work like that.
No.
No.
And like you said, too, and like I thought that was the perfect response when the person's like, where can I do that? Just go ahead. Open up a store. Get a coin. I've talked about that, too, the benefits of having an LLC. I almost feel like a lot of people could take advantage of some of the opportunities that are out there to buy metals cheaper.
I said this in the last one. I've helped tons of people, advise them to open LLCs and even help them.
Yeah.
So here, you know what I mean? Here's it at this price. I give them wholesale rates.
Yep.
I've hooked a couple of people up recently too.
Yep. It's very beneficial. And, that's something that I wish I had done earlier, but you don't know it unless you have somebody advising you on it, or it's such like a obscure niche thing.
And a lot of people don't want to help.
No, we've talked about that too. They don't want to help because they want to safeguard their own profit. Like, believe me, with you, there's a couple ideas that I have that I want to get you involved in, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. So I'm like always working.
Right, what do you have in mind there, Stormy?
I'll have to tell you off camera, but I have some ideas. But at the same time, I'm like, how would that work? Because then is that going to jeopardize my profit margins, and is that going to drive people just to you? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like something that you got to...
we figure something out.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying like you're the backstabbing type or anything like that. I'm just like thinking of like how certain things would be structured where it's mutually beneficial and not like self-sabotaging. You know what I'm saying? But I think that, for 2024, so for you, see, I have a number. So going back to what we started the video
Way
talking
off
about,
topic,
but that's how these things go. So 2024... If I'm talking about stacking goals for silver, I have no stacking goals for silver. Zero. In the past, I used to be like, I want to be at 500 ounces. I want to be at 1,000 ounces. I don't have any stacking goals for silver. I don't stack silver anymore. I buy pieces here or there
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Why?
because it's too damn cumbersome.
So you're saying you wanted to get to 50 ounces of gold, right? You
Yeah.
have no silver?
Oh, I didn't say I don't have
Okay.
silver.
But you don't want to add to it.
I don't want to add to
Oh.
it. So the only silver that I am adding to my collection, if you will, because I don't even call it a stack anymore. Because when you think about stacks, you're thinking about bars and like a monster box of maples and a monster box of eagles, and
Right.
that's stacking. I'm not stacking anymore. I have my, some tubes of eagles that I'm comfortable with, and I have a couple of bars, whatever. I don't have a ton of silver. So to me, the reason why I don't really stack silver anymore is because the light bulb went off when I ended up doing like a full stack video 4 years ago. Somebody who happens to be a good friend of mine now, but used to hate my guts, and said like he doesn't even stack precious metals and whatever. I'm like, this mother effer. Okay,
What an insult.
I'll show you. And so I go and I get all of my metals and I'm laying it out on the table to record it all. But in that process, the amount of trips I had to take, the different like locations that I keep some of the silver, and then like just different spots, just carrying it all, it's a lot. So I think it's just too much. Like if I'm gonna
Silver's tough.
if I'm gonna be tying up cash into like a precious metal, I'd much rather put it into gold. You just grab your couple of tubes, like God forbid if there's like an SHTF, just grab your couple of coins or a couple tubes, and
You ain't going nowhere with thousands of ounces of silver.
no. And that's primarily why I stopped stacking silver. So now I just buy pieces that are cool that I want to collect. So like the Gangster series, or you and I had the Leonidas and the Spartacus coin. I sold my Leonidas. I was going to keep it, but I
You
sold
bastard.
it. Yeah,
Not stuck in
you
my
weren't going to keep it. You didn't
No,
want
mine's
it.
right in there.
No,
Oh,
no,
then
the
I
Leonidas.
kept my Spartacus one.
I know, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't have wanted the Leonidas,
No,
would you have? No.
No.
So I sold it. I made a profit on it. And like you said too, like, and I was having this conversation the other day in my Discord. I don't get attached to any of my stuff anymore either. Like I used to think like, oh, maybe I'm going to be attached to like this. Now I was like thinking about it the other day. I'm like, actually, you know what? If somebody wanted to buy my Gangster series, like, what's
Sell
your
it
price?
all.
And I would just sell it and be like done with
sure.
it. Because then I'll get something else that would look cool on there.
I'd
So
stack a little bit of silver, man.
What you do?
No, if I were you, I would. I always have 100-ounce bars on hand, a couple 100 ounces of 10-ounce bars.
I have some, but I'm not going to keep adding to it. The stack, like, let me.
Yeah,
get
but
more-
what about from an? I understand that, but what about from an investment standpoint? You don't think silver will be profitable if you buy it now, or?
I don't think that, because we're now back down to the low 20s. We've seen that it could hit 48. We saw gold recently hit its all-time highs, drop back down, then bounce back up again. I don't think that. It's just that if I'm going to be putting money into, like, so here's the thing. So with the silver, I use that mainly as my vehicle to feed my gold stack. I just
Take
buy
your profits
the
and buy
silver. I
gold with
buy the silver,
That's
and I
smart.
sell the silver. I make more profit on the silver. I hate buying and selling gold because the profit margins are so low. You have to tie up so much capital to just make like the same amount of profit as opposed to like silver, which you could be doing the fractions of. But I would much rather buy and sell the silver. I have my smaller stack put aside, but I would just keep dumping money into gold, if anything. So for 2024, I'm thinking maybe my goal, I would add 10 more ounces of gold to the stack over the course of the year. So you're looking at maybe like 1 ounce per month, right? Give or take. That would be my goal because, like I said, at the same time, I want to be putting, more money back into crypto, more money back into stocks again. And I know this is like all-time highs for the Dow Jones and everything, but if it drops, I'll buy more when it drops.
Any particular stocks? Are you just going to cover the?
I'll show you my watch list.
Oh yeah.
I'll show you my watch list I have. I was doing well with it a couple years ago. I have a pretty nice variety of companies that I was investing in, but then when I told you when I wanted to buy my truck, it was time to liquidate because I needed a substantial amount of cash
Sure.
to put down. I didn't want to finance, a godly amount of money on the depreciating asset. So
You know what? I have to buy a car soon. My car's on its last limb, and
get a.
I'm just not a car guy, man.
Get a Denali.
Probably getting like a
Ferrari.
Hey, you know what? My son keeps showing me these things with like these doors that come out like this, and
It's like a transformer.
I'm a real simple guy. Probably gonna get something like a Kia or something.
I'm gonna get a Toyota Prius, a Hyundai.
I really don't go anywhere or do anything. I fill my tank up like maybe once a month or twice a month. You know.
Well,
what
listen,
I mean?
New Jersey's moving towards electric vehicles now, so being that you don't even really go far, you might be better off getting an electric vehicle.
A go-kart.
A go-kart, yeah, just drive your little go-kart up and
I
down
only
the
live
highway.
a couple blocks away.
Well, guys, listen, we're going to stop it here because we've got plenty more to talk about, but if I were to guess, I would say 85% of you dropped off after about 10 minutes. So, but we're going to see you on the next one on Sunday. But please make sure you check out Andrew's website, Bayshore Bullion Exchange. Yep. And check my website out, EmpirePreciousMetals.com.
Have a good weekend, guys.
See you on the next one.